back. I wanted to show you a video on how I make my simple thumbnails on my Fonto app on my iPhone. It'll be easy for you guys to follow along. So first you're gonna start out by going to your photo albums and picking the photo that you want for your thumbnail. So I already knew what photo that I wanted to do. They have filters at the bottom. I usually use the highlight filter or vibrance, but it's up to you. They have a whole bunch that you can put into your thumbnail for your video. So after I do that, I go in and I am going to, I'm recording this as I go. I'm going to add text, and they have a bunch of different fonts. Just the main thing is to make sure that you pick a font that people can read. So I basically just write how to crimp your hair for beginners. You don't always have to put basically text into the actual pictures, but make sure your spelling is definitely correct. If you need to check the dictionary or anything like that, just make sure it's correct. You don't want to be looking crazy. But yeah, so then you're gonna play around and put the actual words that you just created, best placement possible, so it can be easily seen and read. And you're gonna have to play around with the size, the stroke, the background, and everything like that. So you're gonna see me do that right here. Just the color that's gonna go with the actual background best, it's up to you. Make sure it stands out. When you click on stroke, that's what's gonna add that little white area around it. You can make it as thick or as thin as you want. You have to go down to the tab with the width, and that will help you right there. Once you have that all situated, you're still gonna find a placement for the words to go. Try not to block the actual thing you're trying to show, like the hair. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger. You don't have to make a background. You can also use this curve feature to curve the words over, but if it's too much of a headline, like too many words in it, it'll stretch across the page. So you want everything to fit in there perfectly so people can actually see and read it. So right here, I'm going to go and add a background to the actual words. Like I said, you don't want it to block out too much of the picture, so try to make it as light as possible. Yeah, so I decided to use gray because it matched my curtain background. So I'm going to use that, but I'm also going to make this smaller. I'm just trying to play around and see where I want the words to actually be so they don't be blocked out, basically. So just play around with it and make it your own. They have tilt features where you can tilt the words back and forth. Sometimes that brings a little bit more drama or dramatics to the actual picture. See how it looks a little bit different? So yeah, I like to use that feature quite a bit. And this is basically a simple, very simple thumbnail you can slap together real quick if you need something for your video. Some of the thumbnails I do get made by somebody else, and they're very inexpensive, but when he can't do it, I definitely go ahead and do it myself. So I also add arrows and hearts and things like that. That definitely makes the picture stand out more. As you can see, a lot of YouTubers do use that. So just if you have any inspiration for your thumbnail, just go look at the different videos. You don't have to copy all together, but just try to make it your own pretty much. So yeah, I add the arrow and I added the color that the words is just to make it pop a little bit. I'm also gonna go in and add some stars. Like I said before, make sure it's not too big because you don't want to block out what you're trying to show. You're trying to pretty much sell yourself, not sell yourself, but market yourself to the general audience that you're trying to get to click on your thumbnail. Thumbnails are just so important for your video, and that's the thing that people first see. Is first impressions is everything, as you know. So I'm gonna sit here and just play around with this a little bit more, see where I want my stars to go and things like that. So sometimes I go and I like to add a little bit of picture. So I want to add the crimping iron that I'm using. So I just literally look it up online and I just take a screenshot of the picture. Try to make it as clean as possible. You don't want it to have too much of the writing, like you don't want it to say Walmart bedhead visit and all that stuff like that. So once you take the picture, you're just going to crop it and you're going to add that to the actual thumbnail that you were doing, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So right now I'm just cropping the actual waiver just so you can get out all that extra stuff, the URL and everything. So once I do that, I just save it to my photos, and then I go back into Fonto, and then I'm gonna click add image, not text. And I'm gonna take this, and you can put like the little circle around, and you don't want it to block your face, obviously, so you're gonna use the size button to just bring it down to size. Don't make it too itty bitty where nobody can see it and be like, what is that? But yeah, you're gonna do that. You don't have to do this part, but I do sometimes here and there, just to add a little bit more flavor to the thumbnail so it don't look so boring, because this definitely, like I said, is a very easy, simple, slap together thumbnail real quick if you need something just for your video. Once you do all of that, you're gonna just save the image, and that's gonna go straight into your photo album, and that's how the thumbnail looks. So I'm gonna show you how to make, let me see, what am I doing now? Yeah, I'm gonna press reset, and we're gonna make a second thumbnail. This one will be a little bit more prettier. So you're gonna go in, and then you're gonna press plain image, and it has to be this certain numbers right here. I learned it from a different video. So 1280 and 720 for the height. So you press use and save, not just use, has to be use and save. I made that mistake twice and I had to go back. So definitely watch. So I'm gonna make this actually bigger than the square, but it'll come out in the end. So you just try to fit it just how it is. And I'm gonna do like a little side by side. You don't have to use the same picture. You can use a different picture if you want. I tried that at first, but it didn't look right. So you're gonna see me go in and out, and it's pretty much a visual thing. So I'm not gonna keep talking. I'll come back when I gotta tell you guys more stuff. So that wasn't working for me, so I decided to use the exact same picture side by side. It doesn't really matter. The other one just wasn't working out because of the angles and things like that. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing, make sure they're both the same measurements, and just fit them how they're supposed to be. Don't overlap too much. So yeah, it's pretty visual. I'm a visual learner. I don't really like to do too much talking. I like to watch and learn from that. So yeah, you just play around with it until you get it to the right angle of where you want it to actually be. And then I'm gonna come back for you guys in a second. Let me see, hold on, I might tell you something. No, I'm just moving them around, sizing them up, making sure they're where I want them to be. So after I get them there, I press save image, and then I'm gonna go to pick the actual filter that I like. I like to use highlight or vibrance. I use a couple of different ones, but I use highlight a lot, highlight and shadow. You can play around with that to where you want it to be. Now I'm gonna add the text. This has a lot of different fonts, but like I said, make sure it's very readable, because some of these fonts are not readable. And I made that mistake before by using them, and it was a no-go. So yeah, I'm gonna just write how to crimp hair for beginners, and you could put any title you want, how to crimp hair fast and easy, just anything that's like catchy to make people want to click on your actual video. Like I said, spelling matters. Hopefully everything is spelled right. Looks like it to me. But yeah, it has autocorrect there, so don't worry too much about the spelling and getting it right, because autocorrect got you. So yeah, I just put that in the middle, and it works pretty much best in the middle because of the photos being side by side. And then you're just gonna pretty much downsize it a little bit just so it could fit. Like I said, you do not want to cover the hair, because that's what you're trying to show, that you crimped the hair. Not a very good explainer. I'm trying my best. So yeah, after I add the text, just gonna play around, add a few little different objects here and there, little hearts side by side, but like I said, don't make them too big. Yeah, you're good to go. I'm about to let you guys watch the rest as I finish this up. And right here, I'm just playing around with the stroke, aka the outline. Drama in the thumbnail just so it could be very catchy and visual. I point down to the actual words, play with the arrow a little bit size wise, and yeah, you see what I'm doing. Y'all know, y'all smart, y'all catching on. So after I do all of that, I save the image again, and that's pretty much my thumbnail. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you guys the first one we made and the second one we made. So thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all got something out this video. See you guys next time. Bye.